and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where we do have plenty of Barca news up for discussion. We're going to be talking about Lamine Yamal and a potential shirt number change incoming. We're also going to be talking about the goalkeeping situation again, with Juan Garcia very much on the agenda, the Espanyol goalkeeper. We've also got some fantastic quotes from Juan Laporta, always interesting to listen when he does an interview, and we're going to be talking there about what we can expect this summer. He was asked about Ansu Fati, about Nico Williams, even Erling Haaland. It is all coming up and more today, guys, so get yourselves ready and let's do this. But if we do, first of all, begin with that very interesting news surrounding Lamine Yamal. I mean, this is a big deal right here, because multiple reports right now in the Catalan media say that from next season, Lamine Yamal will be the new Barca number 10. That is massive. I mean, that is absolutely colossal right there. We know all about what that shirt means, what it represents, how many incredible players have worn that. Of course, in the past at Barca, it's a special number, it's a special iconic shirt, and next season it is very much expected that it will be on Yamal's back. And I think that's amazing. I honestly do, guys, because first of all, lots of people here will have had reservations. They will have thought, okay, we saw what happened with Ansu Fati, of course. He inherited the 10 from Lionel Messi. At the time, a lot of people were very sceptical about that. And of course, it hasn't really worked out very well. But this is a very different kind of situation to what we saw right here with Ansu. I think with Ansu Fati, it was a very different time at the club. He was, of course, the first person to wear it since Messi. That wasn't going to be easy for anyone. And of course, he was going through difficulties in terms of injury problems. We were going through financial issues. The team was not where it was today. And ultimately, it was all too much too soon and at the worst possible moment for Ansu Fati. Now, compare that with Yamal, because let's be honest, guys, last summer, the club wanted to do it then. They actually wanted to give Yamal the number 10 at the start of this season. That would have been such a big early move, but out of respect there for Ansu Fati, and I think a feeling of, okay, it would also be too soon for Yamal, he said no. He said, let me wait here. I want to really grow into that shirt. And I think ultimately this season, what we've seen from him, he has more than proven his worth now. I mean, we always knew he was an unbelievable talent, but what he has done this season, he has almost earned this shirt now. He has passed the audition for this kind of number. And I think ultimately it's about the club really wanting to capitalise here on a huge marketing opportunity. I mean, look what we're dealing with here. You've got Yamal, after the season that he's just had, the number 10, the iconic number, a potential Ballon d'Or winner at 17. I mean, that shirt right there, that's going to break all kinds of records. You can see there, the club are looking at money signs, no question about it. And ultimately, it just feels like the next move. It feels like the right step for Yamal. And when I look at him, do you see a player who's going to be burdened by the shirt? Do you see a player there that's going to be overawed by it and ultimately feel as though it's going to weigh on him? He's not that kind of character. All season long, people have been waiting for him to feel the pressure, to ultimately succumb to all the demands of Barca. It has not happened. This is not a player who feels anything, who feels any sort of pressure on his shoulders. Nothing can faze Yamal. And I just think the number 10 here, what it actually is, it's not a burden. You know, if you are a truly phenomenal player, if you are an exciting talent like Yamal, it's an opportunity, it's a chance here to do something better, to do something even more incredible than what we've seen. Because just think of players in the past like Ronaldinho, like Lionel Messi. At some stage, they had to walk into that number 10. They had to pick up that shirt. They had to wear it. They had to own it. And they did. And they cemented their legacy at this club. And that's what the 10 is here. It's a chance. It's an opportunity. And I actually think here, you give him the number 10, knowing what it means, knowing what it represents. There's actually a good chance, in my opinion. It gives him even more confidence. It gives him even more stature. It makes him even more feared by the opposition. Yamal in 10 for me, it's the right fit. It's the right moment. and it could well be spectacular. But indeed, guys, that does bring us on here to what the summer could represent for Barca. Could we see a few more moves, a few more changes at the club? And certainly there, in terms of the goalkeeper, we are hearing more and more out of the Spanish media here that Barca, they're looking at the goalkeeping market. They're attentive to what is happening right there. And I want to talk here about Espanyol's Juan Garcia. Now, he is a 24-year-old goalkeeper. Now, he has been outstanding this season, in my opinion, even though he's been in a real struggling team. Let's be honest, Espanyol have found it tough this season, but he has been spectacular. One of the best goalkeepers in La Liga, in my opinion. And of course, when you're looking at a list of goalkeepers right now, Juan Garcia is not the most experienced pick out there. There are certainly more established options. There are certainly more expensive options in the goalkeeping area. But I think there's a feeling within the club right here that this could be a real opportunity to sign somebody with huge talent, with a lot of opportunity to grow at Barca there. He's a good fit. He's a good profile in terms of the goalkeeper. But he could also come in my opinion, even though he's young, and make an impact now. I still think he's got a lot to offer the club in the immediate term, along with, of course, the long-term future. But I think from the financial side here, Barca are looking at this deal. If Espanyol were to get relegated, it would be so easy. It would be such an easy, simple deal to complete there. If Espanyol got relegated, he's got a 15 million release clause. Now, the problem is right now, that is looking quite unlikely with just one more game to go in the league. Espanyol right now are 2 points clear of Leganés. They then have Las Palmas at home in their final game. They may well get the points they need from that fixture. Leganés, though, do have Valladolid at home. So that there is also a very, very winnable game for them. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens in the final game. But if Espanyol were to go down, and hey, wouldn't that be fantastic? It would be 15 million for Juan Garcia. What have you made of him, guys, this season? Have you seen him on many occasions? When you have, could you see him in a Barca shirt? Do you believe that he could fill that shirt well in the goalkeeping area? And is he somebody that we should try and make a move for in the next few weeks and months? Because then we do move on to the words of the president of Barca, Joan Laporta. He gave there a really interesting, really insightful interview to TV3. And when Laporta speaks, I think it's important that we listen and we understand really what the plans are, what the ambitions are this summer. And one of the first things that he actually was very clear to mention there early on in the interview about the 1-for-1 rule. He said, look, La Liga at the end of the season is going to set our salary cap. We will close this year with around 950 million in revenue. And next season, our budget will exceed 1 billion. With these figures, we are very confident of achieving the 1-for-1 financial rule. And do not forget, guys, that is vital for our summer. Barca have been working towards the 1-for-1 rule for many, many years now. Every operation, every move, it's all been geared up there for that 1-for-1 ruling. It all relies, of course, on La Liga. That never makes me comfortable. It all relies on Javier Tebas. But Laporta here is confident that we will return for the 1-for-1 ruling. Because then he went on to say, there will be changes in our squad this summer. He said the club right now is evaluating all lines, defence, midfield, attack. He said our rivals, we know, are going to strengthen because they've seen that our team is the best right now. We will look to sign new players once we close all of the renewals. And I think that's a really important quote there because it's good that the club understand everybody else is going to be trying to push on. Everybody else will be looking at Barca thinking, okay, that's the benchmark. That is the kind of level, the kind of quality there that we need to match, that we need to try and exceed if we can. And everybody else is going to push on. So we cannot afford here to stand still. We've got to improve the squad. We've got to keep working and planning. It's good to see there the club are very much on the ball because when you're looking at those potential renewals at the club, starting first of all with Yamal, Laporta, great words there. He said Yamal has already agreed to extend his contract. All that's missing is the signing of that deal when he turns 18. Deco is handling that. And when asked about his wages, he said a player's contract must always correspond to his importance in the team, regardless of his age. So that tells me right there that the club understand Yamal's importance, even at this young age, even at this very early stage of his career. He is still contributing a lot. And I do believe there the club will reward that in that new deal and tie him down there long term. He wants to stay, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic when he does sign it. Also on Raphinha, Laporta said there, Deco has a good relationship, really good connection with Raphinha. He feels very involved with the project. He wants to stay here, and we will reach an agreement because we want him to stay too. So on Raphinha there, also no doubts. Very confident are the club in securing the deals there for Yamal, for Raphinha, two absolutely key players from our season. They are going to be staying at the club long term. But I thought it was interesting then, speaking about Frenkie de Jong. There was a difference there in tone when it comes to Laporta, because ultimately it is a bit of a race against time. He admitted there, it's an urgent situation. We don't want a player who is entering the final year of his contract. He said, look, he knows that. We've spoken about it. And he said, we love the Dutch school of play. With him, we dominate games. He is very good, very important and motivated there for our team. So Laporta and the club, they're in no doubt, by the way, they want de Jong. They want de Jong. They appreciate, they value what he has given you. He's had an excellent second half of the season, but they need to renew that deal. Something needs to happen with that contract, and it does need to happen here over the next few weeks to avoid any complications, to avoid there any nervousness there between the two camps. So hopefully we can come together, reach an agreement, and keep him at the club, where this season, under Hansi Flick, he has been right there, back to his best. But what then about the future of Ansu Fati? Because Laporta has spoken about him quite a lot over the past few days. Even yesterday we were talking about the fact that Laporta said he actually wants Ansu to continue and that he does have a valid contract at Barca. And yet again, Laporta insists, we want Ansu to play. He said he's a player who's loved in the dressing room by many that come from La Masia just like him, but he has to play. Let's see if there's a solution that's good for him and good for Barca. And it's interesting there to listen to Laporta. He is really emphasising the need for Ansu to go and get minutes, to play football. That's the only way realistically that he can recapture anything. You've got to play. You've got to be in a team somewhere to get that sharpness and that feeling back again. And the more that I hear from Laporta here, the more that I'm thinking, are they gearing up for a loan deal? Are they looking here to maybe send Ansu somewhere again to try and get football again, to try and see and recapture something? That appears to be where they're leaning right now. But again, it depends on Ansu. He's got a big contract there. He's on very good money at Barca. Another club coming in would have to really put that kind of money up to get him. And it remains to be seen whether that can happen. But well, speaking of money, speaking of wages here, let's talk about Erling Haaland, because Laporta was actually asked that, he's spoken about Haaland in the past. We know that you're a very big admirer of him. Could we ever see him at Barca? Is he an option for the club? Are you looking at him right now? And again, Laporta, he's never going to shut something like this down. He's always going to want to leave that door open. He said, look, nothing in life is impossible. I don't believe that anything in football here is impossible. But he said right now, we're not thinking of him. We're not looking at him right now. And he did mention he's just renewed his contract at Man City. But thinking long term, he did say, look, don't rule anything out. Nothing is impossible, but I would not be expecting Erling Haaland at Barca this summer, put it that way. But how about Nico Williams? That's an interesting one for me. Very, very interesting words here, because don't forget, guys, last summer, the club absolutely loved Nico. They really did want to go for him. He was one of the big targets, along with Dani Olmo, and Laporta especially really, really valued him. But when Nico ultimately said no, when he walked away from that deal, stayed at Athletic Club, we all know what he was told. He was told the Barca train, it only passes once. It's happening now. It's happening this summer. Once it leaves, it will not come back. You will not have this chance again. And the question now would be, do the club stand by that? Are they going to stand by that? And Laporta's words here, in my opinion, they appear to follow up on it. He said, last summer, we valued his signing there. We really did want to sign him along with Dani Olmo. But Laporta said right now, I think the club's focus is on other players. It does not seem as though, at least right now, Barca are looking at Nico. He is certainly not a priority for the team right now. And has that Barca train well and truly left the station now? And what do you make of that if we have turned our back on Nico, if we are saying, look, you had your chance, you had your opportunity, didn't take it, now we are moving on? But the question would be, who are we moving on to? Are we looking at wide profiles? Are we looking to bring in a winger this summer? I think that we will, but do let me know in the comments down below, guys. Based here on these words from Laporta, what are you expecting this summer from the club? What are you anticipating here in terms of signings? And how many, in your opinion, do we need? Looking at at our squad, looking at where we're strong, looking at maybe where we're not, how many signings, in your opinion, would be the perfect number for Barca this summer, ideally? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments down below. I will see all of you very, very soon, where there will be plenty more videos coming. Thank you indeed, though, for the fantastic support. But until next time, as always, Vejska, Barca.